replacing your worn shoes with new boots. For now, many of you will get by with the modified tire track sandals, and that is good. It is a symbol of the creativity with which you fight this fight against the most sophisticated of foes. They have jets, artillery, missiles, rockets. They have all incredible weapons, electronics. They have systems that they drop on the trail with microphones that listen to us. With this sophistication, we, the People's Army of North Vietnam, should not have even a remote chance against this great foe. But in fact, not only do we have a chance, but we are winning. We are defeating the line. We are going to drive them from our country, and we are going to unify the North and the South. One Vietnam! One Vietnam! Vietnam! Do Co! Do Co! Do Co! Do Co! You humble me. As I am in your presence, and I know the struggles that you endure, and I know the challenges that you have, I am never, and my political officer, Major Comrade Wa Ren, we speak often of how remarkably amazed we are at your great fight, your great effort. I have here a letter which was written from Nihm Ba Tri. He was Colonel of the 91st Infantry Regiment for the NVA People's Army of Vietnam. He sadly was killed by a helicopter attack, but his letter, written to General Pham, was recovered and delivered to General Pham. And in the spirit of Nihm Ba Tri, I wish to share his words of wisdom. General Pham, comrade, I hope this letter finds you well and in good spirits. The American flying have recently increased air mobile operations throughout our operational area, and the soldiers that wore the green patch with number 1 have been replaced with the helicopter soldiers from an unidentified unit. Our experience to date has shown the following. The Americans are weak and ineffective. They move through the jungle as if hunting tigers. Their equipment rattles and they talk constantly. It is though they wish to make you aware of their presence and drive you away. It is easy to avoid them by remaining motionless, and we engage them at our choosing. To engage the imperialistic swine. They often fire aimlessly and consume great quantities of ammunition even when there is nothing there. They show little initiative and leave gaping holes in their attempts to encircle us. They always engage our flankers and scouts and have little chance or no chance at affecting our main bodies during movements. So long as we have scouts and flankers, I can assure you the American has no discipline. They will fire at the first thing they see that moves. And when they do that, if it is our choice to evade them, then we simply evade them.
Yes, comrade.
If it is our choice to flank and surround them, then we flank and surround them.
Yes, comrade.
The Americans will show you where they are. They will reveal themselves to you. And you, even with limited numbers, can affect them, because what the Americans do, this is not their land. This is not their home.
This is our land.
This is our land. This is our home. They fear the jungle. They see things in the jungle that aren't there. And when the fighting starts, when the shooting happens, their eyes go straight to whatever or wherever they fire. They get a vision that is tunneled, and they see nothing else. So whenever the Americans fire, find their flank, find their rear. They won't know. It will be as though they are blind and oblivious to your movement, provided you move slowly and stealthily. Always strike them from the flank and from the rear. Their hasty intentions do not consist of overhead cover, and they are most vulnerable to sapper attacks. They have moved into this area with some very preliminary not conventional wire, just casual wire. So their fighting positions are very, very weak and vulnerable. I implore you This is from San Miloy, Colonel. I implore you to allow me to step up my aggression and believe with judicious planning and prudent use of our forces that we can isolate and annihilate several of his small base camps and temporary positions. I have sufficient mortars and rocket munitions to support such actions, but humbly request additional munitions, especially 122mm rockets and 82mm mortar rounds. I await your authority and blessing and remain faithfully your servant and the servant of the people, San Miloy. Comrades, we have delivered to you the mortars and the rockets, and the Americans are weak and vulnerable, and I leave it to you and other units like you to take the fight to them and defeat them. They will get on their helicopters and they will leave, and they will regret the day that they came to the Carlo Saliango location that we are in. I humbly praise you for your courage, for your hard work. I look forward to the defeat of the Americans. Duke Col. 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 One Vietnam. One Vietnam.
Comrades, I bring you news. I have tonight for you a story from the people's first war of liberation against the French oppressors, written in the memoirs of General Vo Nguyen Giap, hero of Dien Bien Phu and liberator of the Vietnamese people. In his fundamental problems of our war of liberation, the Vietnamese people's war of liberation was a just war, aiming to win back the independence and unity of our country, to bring land to our peasants and guarantee them the right to it, and defend the achievements of the August Revolution. That is why it was first and foremost, and continues to be, a people's war. To educate, mobilize, organize, and arm the whole people in order that they might take part in the resistance is the most crucial of objectives.
Yes, comrade.
As you know, comrades, you have a large mission coming up. Tomorrow night, you will take part in a great assault to throw back the imperialist forces that attempt to invade this area. As we speak, they are building defensive fortifications with great technology and artillery support, but we will defeat them in half before. I read from you.
Go! Duke! Go!
I read from you from General Vo Nguyen Giap's triumph at Dien Bien Phu. But we still had to solve the problem. How should we do it? Strike swiftly and win swiftly, or strike surely?
One Vietnam! One Vietnam!
I will leave this copy of General Vo Nguyen Giap's book for you all to read, so that you may be enlightened by his wisdom and his tactics. We will strike deliberately, but swiftly and violently to destroy the American enemy. All those who are not members of the party, please see me after. One Vietnam!
One Vietnam! Comrades, thank you. We are honored by your visit, and we appreciate, especially in this time of hardness in the rainy season, your kind and helpful words. There will be one victory. Will you honor us in leading the criticism session today? We have not had our criticism session, and I shall begin the criticism session today. Will you honor us by staying?
Yes, Comrade Lieutenant Min.
Sir, I was not the best of my duty when I was bringing the men here, because I forgot that Comrade Tan, a very honorable soldier who many times has fought with me, has a bad foot. And when we went through one section, I wanted the men quickly to come here to get by and war, when I should have considered Comrade Tan and been more careful going through that section. For this, I will strive to be a better leader, and I will strive to remember Comrade Tan. He is my friend and my comrade.
Duke Col! Duke Col! Duke Col! Duke Col! Duke Col! All right.
Comrade, hi. Your criticism. One Vietnam!
One Vietnam! For future references, the unit political officer, I see it unfit to use one Vietnam as a self-criticism.